Which I got very excited when I saw Portland, and then I saw Maine, and I
was like, oh.
Listen, Portland, Maine is great.
I've heard.
Have you ever? Oh, you've never been. You can't.
I've never been.
You can't say.
Yeah, don't pretend like you know Portland, Maine like we do, right?
Excuse me.
Right.
Don't even. Brett and I are experts on Portland, Maine.
Yeah, y'all are Mainers. I just, Portland, Maine's just not nearly as cool as Portland, Oregon. I know.
Well, I also have never been to Portland, Oregon, so I can't.
I've never heard of that Portland.
Yeah. Well,
the lesser known Portland.
You gotta travel, Brett. Jesus.
The more humbled Portland.
You're gonna go to Japan before you go to fucking Portland.
I hope so.
I can't figure out which city is wider, the Portland, Maine, or Portland.
That's up for debate. I don't know.
Having been to the
Scientists
Oregon
have been arguing that for years.
Having been to Oregon is pretty goddamn wide. I'm pretty sure Oregon was like the last state in the country to like eliminate slave laws.
Which is great to bring up because that's a very present part of this album, Lucas.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. That's for our other podcast. Yes, it should only be you. Beautiful. If it's picking us up, that's a problem.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Oh my God. Not here. It's as if you're not here.
I thought we almost just had to.
Sorry, y'all.
No, it's fine.
Toes on a Saturday.
That shit woke me up. I'm gonna put my coffee away now. I feel like I just took a upper.
It's picking me up.
Now, I've been drinking this candle wax, and it scared me so much. It melted the wax in my stomach, and now I smell better.
You've been drinking a can of wax?
Candle wax. Yeah.
Oh, candle wax.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense. Somehow.
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh, of course. I missed something.
Yeah, candle wax.
Got it.
Candle wax. It makes you feel a lot more fragrant, More people want you around, especially when you're on fire.
Candle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's weird.
Well, look, I gotta do schemy things to let people, hang out with me.
That's true. You gotta stand out somehow.
Exactly.
And if you're not drinking candle wax in 7th grade
Yankee
to stand
candle.
out.
Yeah, exactly. and like I'll say, I'm in a podcast, and that for some reason doesn't woo them over immediately. I don't really understand that.
Did you know that it's been proven that a human can burn like a candle if you light them on top of their head? If you somehow get like a smoldering going, it literally will like cinder all the way down their body, like slowly, like a candle. That's
cool, man.
I feel like I don't know if that's true.
Okay, so
only one way to test
I don't know
out.
either.
Andre's back in here.
I'm not.
He does have good hair.
Okay, I'm gonna say allegedly. But I'm reading a book about spontaneous human combustion. And they're talking about
some light reading.
Oh, it's like it's a nonfiction that reads like a fucking horror novel, and it like scares me that I'm going to spontaneously combust.
I don't like
I've
that.
always been terrified of that phenomenon ever since I found out about it. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like it. Yeah.
That's so scary.
What if it's me? What if it happens to me? I'm just walking down the street and I light on. I don't even know what it is. Do you just light on fire?
I'm getting anxious just thinking of like having us discuss it. It's like I'm one of those I'm like an ignorance is bliss sometimes. I'm like don't tell me this is something that can happen, so that I can pretend and I can be blissfully unaware that I might just blow up someday.
And we're not even recording video, so we couldn't even put it on YouTube if it did happen right now.
Exactly.
Right? We'd only have the sounds of you cindering.
Be most tragic.
Okay, I can't.
All right.
Guys, I'm like real hungover, and this is just making me that's not helping.
Listen, maybe we just need to cool down a little bit. Maybe we need to get ourselves on ice. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Oh.
Let's see. This is he's a master at this. 60 episodes in, we figured it out, or at least he did.
I was very smooth.
Yeah. Thank you. Smooth as Paul Blart on a Segway. That's how I like to think of myself.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That saying that everyone knows.
Classic.
Hey, they better not.
Age-old saying.
Everyone knows it, but they better not use it. I got it copyright. They're gonna have to owe me money.
There you go.
Or if you just want to Venmo us at EPcast.
Yeah, that'll work too.
$5 every time you say it.
Perfect.
That's fair.
I think so.
Yeah.
T-shirts
and on that note, what's up, buddies? Hey. And welcome to another episode of Earbuds, the podcast where 2 to 3 friends talk about one album for good to many minutes. And we are your hosts. My name is Lucas, forever the sickest kid in Jerkovs. and my co-host, Brett, sick of it all, reject. Hanrahan, the All-American Reject. And today we have a very special guest, someone whose face I haven't seen in person in a few years, and it makes me sad, but I'm happy to see you here in front of me right now. And your name is what?
Erin Fitzgibbons.
Hey!
Our friend Erin Fitzgibbons.
How'd I do?
Yeah! That was pretty good. You got to give yourself a little nickname in the middle there.
Oh, yeah, no. I feel like you guys are more creative. I'll let you think about that one.
I mean, I'm going to say Erin, best hair in the biz, Fitzgibbons.
I
appreciate that.
You and Andy are like a hair power couple.
Listen,
true.
I used to be the one with the good hair, and then Andy decided to grow it out, and now it's a competition.
It was your influence.
I'm no longer... It outshines. Maybe because it's a man with long hair versus... I don't know, but he just outshines me now, and
he does
it's a
look
point
like...
of contention in our relationship, so...
I'm not surprised.
You got him
looks
in
like a romance novel cover.
He's literally like a Fabio of Mexican descent.
But he should be a centaur. A centaur Fabio, Mexican centaur Fabio.
Oh, yep.
That's his nickname next time he's on. I need to
Perfect. Write it down.
Yeah. But for real, like y'all
I will not be calling him that.
Y'all's hair game is ridiculous.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's a lot of hair going on here.
A lot of hair. I'm sure the shower is a mess.
It's not great.
Yeah. But you brought on an album that you wanted us to listen to and talk about. And that album is what exactly?
That it is the... So I went rogue and did a live album because why not?
Our first live album on this podcast.
Yep.
Luke was like, you should do whatever you want. And I was like, okay, I will. Here we go.
I'm
and
like,
now
it's
we
all
know
about the guest.
Something. You literally warned me, but I don't care.
Yeah,
so,
no, you held to your convictions there.
I tend to. Sometimes to a fault. It can really dig my heels in. But no, it's called, it's the Guster album, live album called Guster on Ice, and it's live from Portland, Maine. Yeah.
But, so you brought on Guster on Ice, which, is a live record. But I gotta say, sounds really good for a live record.
Okay, I'll take that.
So why was this the album that you settled on?
Yeah, because Andres said to Lucas that you had an eccentric music taste. Like, you're all over the place,
so
apparently.
Eclectic, and she's like all over the place. Like, I can't wait to like figure out what she puts on there. And then, like, we got a pretty like solid pop rock record.
Yeah, so I do have an eclectic, I would say, taste in music, but Guster, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like one of those bands that I just love from like high school.
Yeah.
And I've seen them, I've lost count, honestly, probably at least over 15 times, maybe 20 times at this point.
Did you go to this show?
I didn't.
Yeah, this is before you were in the Northeast, right?
Yeah.
You were up there.
No, I'm from here, yeah. So I'm from here, and I graduated high school in 2006. So I think it was like right before I got really into them. So because the album's 2004, it came out in 2004. So
right,
it was before I knew who they were.
This came out in 2004.
I think so. I should probably know that, huh?
Dude,
yeah.
The crowd was singing along so much.
So they started in like the early 90s.
Oh.
Like 91, I think, and they met at Tufts, which is a college up here in Massachusetts.
I love that they met at the freshman wilderness orientation.
Yeah. One of the band members are like
meet.
Yeah, exactly. No, they do, and like I know the band members too, like are really into like the green movement and everything like that. So it doesn't surprise me that that's where they met. But
so funny.
Yeah, they just they're really big around here in New England. So but then I've seen them, like I saw them in Denver. I saw them, I've seen them kind of everywhere. So
did they play Red Rocks?
They have played Red Rocks. I didn't see them there. I saw them at the Botanical Gardens in Denver, which was like one of the coolest venues I've ever been to.
Sounds amazing.
It was like a stage in the middle of like a bunch of like a grassy hill and tons of like gorgeous flowers, and they're just like in the middle, and there's no seats, so you just like can walk. I was literally like up in the front, and it was fantastic. And actually Andres went to that one too.
Wow.
So he's come with me a couple of times since we were supposed to go last weekend, but it got postponed. So
dang. Yeah.
But I'm like still actively seeing them in concert.
Damn, you're like a super fan.
I kind of am.
Yeah.
And I didn't like. I just went to a concert one time because a friend wanted to go, and I think that's why I picked this album, is because not selfishly, but like if you see them live, it's just so great. And so when I like heard the album, I was right back in the concert, and it just they're really consistent, and I just love it. So that is why I went for the live album, because every single song on there is a song that I enjoy. So I kind of cheated by
it's like doing a best of, but it's not a best
literally
of.
What Andres called me a cheater, so that's fine. I'll take it. I don't care.
He can.
That is very
say
like,
whatever
it is kind
he
of
wants.
a best of though.
It is, and there's been albums since then that are also good that I like that didn't have obviously the songs on there. Hi, Bo.
Oh, little Bo.
Just,
hi, buddy.
Dude, I'm trying to return his fucking dog bed, and he keeps scratching it. It's driving me insane.
He's like,
you know,
I'm not.
rip it
keeping
apart
this forever. Joke's on you. It's his now.
Stressed me out.
He doesn't want it to go.
Yeah, dude. This bed is a piece of shit too, and I paid $80 for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
So I'm like, I'm returning this shit, even though it's filthy, and I've had it for 2 weeks. Like, I don't care. This thing's
And he's fully living
lumpy
in it.
as hell. I didn't. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize that you were such a super fan. Like, there's something about these types of bands, like Dispatch, also, and Dave Matthews, that they get these like rabid followings.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. The Dave Matthews scene, especially here, is like massive.
What's with the Northeast and this type of music?
Just love a good jam band, I guess. I don't know. Like, again, like that was a thing you did in the summer. You literally would go to. It was called the Tweeter Center but now I think it's the Comcast. It's changed, but it's an outside venue, and you would go to a Dave Matthews concert, and you would buy lawn seats, and you would tailgate and get shit-faced and watch Dave Matthews just jam for 3 hours. And it was like, I didn't even like love it, the band, so much, but I just like loved, it was an experience. It's a vibe, and it's like kind of a rite of passage as a teenager in Massachusetts to go like to an outdoor Dave Matthews concert every fucking summer.
So do you think a lot of his following and a lot of the followings of like a Widespread Panic or like a String Cheese Incident or Dispatch or whoever, do you think it's a lot of nostalgia because it's like it was something to do as a kid, so when you get older you're like, this reminds me of this fucking summers in New Haven?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I feel, and that's like when I was trying to like decide about the album, I was like, I don't know if it's just, I do love it, and I think the music is great, and I'm like, but is it really just because I have this like piece of nostalgia that makes me so happy when I hear this album?
Right.
And I think it's both. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They're really like, when you see them live, they all play a bunch of different instruments, and they're always like switching around, and they're switching vocals, and I love a good harmony, so like they're really good with that. And
oh yeah, they got that locked in on this album.
It's so good.
Dude,
I love it.
So impressive how much they have that locked down even live.
Oh yeah, and they like change it up and still can, they've had a couple different, it's been Ryan and Adam are the two like kind of lead vocals.
And I like one more than the other, and I can't figure out which one.
I can tell you if you tell me who's singing the song, like which song it is.
Like on Careful, and not the guy who sang on Ramona. Whoever sang on Ramona, I didn't like his voice as much.
So that's Adam.
Okay.
And he's not as, I would argue that Ryan's probably the bigger leader, bigger lead vocals in the band. But then Adam does sing a few songs. I also have a raging crush on him, on Adam Gardner.
Is it a boy band situation where all the fans have like a favorite, and where like
is he the bad boy?
Yeah, which one's the bad boy?
They're from. Yeah. They went to top. Like, there's no bad boys here, but they.
Which one's the AJ of the band?
God, also had a crush on Jay.
Really?
So really just peeling back this onion.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I also met him at a Red Sox game.
Was he nice?
I think it was Destiny. I'm really weird around famous people, like super weird, like creepy weird. And so he was literally sitting in front of me, and he was with his lovely family, and I hope this doesn't like reach them at some point.
Oh, it won't. Don't worry, it won't.
A full stalker.
This doesn't reach anyone.
Oh sure, it reaches Alanis. We knew that. So anyway,
it's true.
The influence we had on her was immeasurable.
Right? But I was like Googling his family, like Adam Gardner's family, as they're sitting in front of me to make sure that it was him that was in front of me, and it was like his daughter and his wife.
Googling pictures of this random guy's daughter, and
literally,
and his security team that's standing behind you is monitoring this the whole time. And you're just like,
I'm definitely on some like fly list for.
They're like, we got a bogey here.
Exactly. And then the 7th inning stretch happened, and my dad tapped him on the shoulder and told him that I was obsessed with his band, and
that's a good start.
A picture. So we got a picture, but I was like horrified. I don't think I spoke a word. I just I'm freaking out. It happened. I'm living in New York City, and then stuff like that. I've seen a lot of celebrities, and it just gets super, super weird.
You're weird every time.
I can't even.
Every
imagine.
time I used to serve Steven Tyler bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and I would be like frozen in fear because they're from the like South Shore where I live, and they owned this building that the cafe I worked at.
And you just hang out there all the time.
He would come in, and I would like
scarves.
One time I swiped his black American Express card, the like fancy ones. Mm-hmm. We didn't take American Express at the store, but I took it, and I was like trying to swipe it, and it was getting denied, and I was like, Mr. Tyler, excuse me,
are you sure you have the funds for this?
Yes.
It's getting denied. I'm sorry.
Dude, those are like a different type of credit card too. Those are like made out of fucking ceramic.
They're like heavy. They're
weighty. Like you put that on
I'm
a
like
table.
shaking, trying to like run it. Yeah. It's getting denied, and I'm like,
you probably just fucking like cracked the credit card machine slot.
I definitely broke a lot of things.
A lot of components.
I was panicking, and I was like, ah.
Dude, I don't think I've met a famous person, like a really famous person, ever.
Oh, met a few.
I mean, we've hung out a lot, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean,
yeah, we're not there yet, Brett.
He's right here. Come on.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, with the amount of people, the amount of famous rich people that live in Austin, you'd think we'd see them around more often, but that
I did see
really
Matthew
happened.
Modine in Whole Foods one time.
There you go.
And who is that?
Yeah,
exactly. He's I think was really a lot bigger in the 80s. But Elijah Wood lives in Austin. I never fucking saw him. Oh, I didn't meet him, but I used to work at an ad agency that Matthew McConaughey was like really good friends.
Oh, that's legit.
Yeah, really good friends with the founder of the ad agency, and so he was in our building all the time.
That's good.
Well,
that's
I mean, we all
never
see
met
Matty
him,
Light
but...
everywhere. That's a given.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. He was. It was weird, like walking to the bathroom and like seeing him, and you go,
you're like,
"What's going on, man?" And you're like, "Hey." You just kind of
like, shoot the finger guns. You're like, "Hey, man."
Yeah. I'm like, I love you. I mean,
that would be me. I would be frozen. I wouldn't even respond. He'd be like, "Hey," and I'd be like, and I would just keep walking.
Yeah.
And then think about it for the rest of the day.
You're above him.
Yeah, please, Mr. McConaughey. I'm working.
You're like, "Excuse me."
Please don't interrupt.
Can you keep it down?
I'm busy. Hello, I'm on a call.
I'm on a call.
You're sorry. Okay.
Brett, have you ever met anyone famous?
I met Carmen from Spy Kids in an elevator one time.
I said famous.
Dude, fuck you. Carmen from Spy Kids?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Is that Antonio Banderas' character?
No, it's the girl from Spy Kids.
And you don't refer to him as Antonio Banderas. Like, I met Carmen. From Spy Kids, not Zorro.
I don't know his real
Carmen
name.
From Spy.
My mom used to work at the Austin Capitol, and that's where they were shooting a scene from Spy Kids 2, where they're doing like the Spy Awards and everything that was shot at the Capitol. So we went to watch it, and I went in the elevator to go to the top story, and Carmen was there, and I was like, "Hi, Carmen," and she's like, hi. And then I got off the elevator, and that was that was that. I watched them film that little scene.
Wait, she was Lava Girl?
No, you're doing this on purpose now.
I am genuinely.
You gotta
not. I thought I finally figured it out.
This is
Carmen and Junie.
Celebrity encounter, and you're ruining it.
You're ruining my moment.
I'm sorry. I don't know who these people are.
Oh, get up, read a book.
Hey, I met Pablo Francisco one time.
Educate yourself.
You know, y'all don't know who Pablo Francisco is.
No.
Andy does.
Wait, I do. I feel like
you
I
do.
know the name.
Yeah. Really funny comedian. But anyway.
Oh yes, I know who Pablo. Anyway, moving on.
Back to Guster.
Why don't we talk about this dang music, huh?
Yeah, dude, I was super impressed with the production on this record. Like you scared me picking a live album, which I only hate live records because they usually sound like shit. And
agreed.
This sounded really fucking good.
Also agreed.
I think the difference is that back in the day, live records, I don't think they could record direct in. And I'm pretty sure this album was recorded direct in, where they weren't. I don't think they were I don't think they were taking the audio from the microphones that were miking the amps and everything. I think they had the amps going direct out into a recording thing, and all of the audio going straight into that. So you're not getting that big, like, it sounds like you're in a fucking cave type of production.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. That's why I felt okay with it. I was like,
yeah,
it's a live album, but it's not like your generic live.
It sounds tight. It sounds like they played. I listened to a couple of the songs on the original records, and it sounds almost 1-to-1 with just a little more energy on the live records. For obvious reasons, they're kind of amping it up a little bit more, and they got all these lights, and I watched a couple of the videos from the it's like a DVD, right?
I think there's also a DVD.
Yeah,
that has more songs on it, I think.
There's like an extended,
yeah.
I'm surprised I don't own that.
Surprised you don't too, yeah.
Going on Amazon.
Call yourself a super fan.
No, I'm glad you listened to some of the songs that were on the live album, on the studio albums, because I think that is a nice comparison, because they do actually sound pretty good, pretty similar.
Yeah, an interesting part of this band, Guster, is that they started as a 3-piece with like 2 acoustic guitars and 1 percussionist. You wouldn't even call him a drummer because he doesn't usually play the drums.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's the drummer is I love him. Watching this drummer is really fun. Or percussionist, I don't know the term.
Drummer's fine.
Yeah.
He's playing a drum.
So I saw on like a couple of the earlier records, it would be very like mellow and kind of toned down and even minimalistic, and on the live recordings they do have a drummer with a drum set, that's doing the drum work behind them, as well as like another guitarist and like a keyboardist.
And
I think
they have
that's a really good, the horns was a nice surprise.
I
think that's a really good choice to have a live drummer, because I didn't know, I had heard of Guster when I was in college, like 2006 2007. A friend of mine who was really into Dave Matthews and Pinback and a few of these other kind of like more jammy pop rock bands, and they were so like, I mean, this was back when I was listening to like Killswitch Engage, like nonstop, like them and Devil Wears Prada and shit.
Not
so,
your
like,
face.
They were so quiet and slow to me that I was just like, oh my god, I couldn't deal with it back then. And now it's just kind of like pleasantly paced, like well written, well recorded, and well performed, like pop rock music that I can see a place for it. Back then I was just like, who fucking needs this?
I'm bored.
Yeah, I just couldn't take how quiet it was. But like, I do like that on their live stuff that you guys say that they add drums and a little bit more percussion, and they kind of get a little louder and faster. I think that like definitely does a lot more for me, because I liked their more fast-paced, fun, more fun songs. Like
for sure.
Like I love their Nothing But Flowers cover. Their
Isn't
Talking
that
Heads.
so good?
So good. They
cover.
did so well
Such
on
a
that.
good cover.
And like
I did
Amsterdam.
not know that was a cover.
Yeah.
It's a Talking Heads song. Yeah.
Yeah, and the original is great too.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty. They do it justice, I think.
They definitely do. They make it their own, but they have enough like energy in it to for it to be a like pretty good cover. And then Amsterdam, like songs like that, I was definitely enjoying more because I'd still like, you know, I can't listen to like super slow music.
Like the Ramona song.
Like the Ramona song.
But
or like Happier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
But I do know what you mean.
Song.
I get it, and it's funny. I actually sang Amsterdam at my first time I ever sang in front of people.
Really?
I sang Amsterdam at like my high school coffee house. I was like,
dang,
I'm gonna sing that song. So that song also has a special place in my heart. But yeah, no, I do. The upbeat songs they're really fun, and they're fun live, and they're fun to listen to, like, you know, just like even on the studio album stuff.
Yeah, you can hear all throughout like every song the audience is singing along, and there are even times when I forgot what song it is, but there's like a moment of the song where the singer says something, and then the audience responds with something like completely different.
Yeah, I know exactly what
you know what I'm talking about
because I've been in that audience and done the thing.
What is it? Which song?
I think you're talking about Airport Songs.
Yes,
which is one of my.
They're like singing. Do they have like a call and response thing that only the audience knows?
Yeah, it's only live.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
dude,
it's not on the studio album.
What other band is like that I've seen live? I think the Matches. I don't know if you guys have heard the Matches.
No.
Really good pop punk band that built a strange cult following over time. And it was the same thing at their shows where, like, for some reason during one of their songs, there was a moment where everyone in the crowd would meow.
Oh, that's...
And people just start meowing, like, meow.
Like, how did we learn this? But
that's the goal of every
like,
musician.
Only on one part. It's very interesting. So, like, that's what I mean about and they seem to have a really close connection to their fans, too, like, reading about some of their stuff. Like, they create kind of, like, fan-exclusive things to, like, show appreciation for them, which is pretty next level, you know?
Yeah, they did, like, for a while, they do this cruise where they, like, they literally do a cruise and, like, are on the cruise, and, like, people go on them, and, like, I'll never forget one of the shows I went to. It's so strange, and it might not be a good story because you weren't there, but I'm gonna go for it anyway.
If at the end, like, you can just go cut that. If you want
I'll let you decide. But they basically, like, at the end for the encore, they're like, you know, we're gonna come out for an encore. You don't need to scream and clap for like an hour. Let's just do this. We're gonna walk off the stage. You're all gonna turn your backs to us and flip us off, and then we'll come back on. And we're like, okay. And
you got it.
People weren't doing it, and they were like, we're waiting. Like, come on. And so they're like really engage the crowd, and
that's cool.
They're really personable, and like they're fun. They're weird, like quirky guys, but they're fun.
Yeah, they've opened their own shows as like fake other bands.
Yes,
that's a really that does like kind of, you know, it is kind of like very silly, goofy sense of humor. Like, they're not doing anything that's gonna like offend anyone.
No, it's really lighthearted, very and family friendly, like endearing.
Stuff.
Yeah, and like one of the shows I went to, they lost. It was, I'll never forget it too. It was Lupo's Heartbreak Hotel in Rhode Island, and they lost power. It was like Halloween. Actually, it was Halloween night, and they lost power, and so there was a generator, but it was like for lights and stuff, and so like a couple lights came on, and they like came out still and played like without any power, played their instruments, because it was a decently small venue, because they were like, you deserve an encore, so we're gonna play. It's not gonna be on amps or anything because there's no power.
That's amazing.
And it was amazing, and everyone was like singing with them to, like, you know,
of any bands,
awesome.
This seems like one that could pull something like that off.
Yeah, and everyone was so excited. It was so great. It was just like a kind of a really intimate moment that was really cool, that they, like, most bands probably would just be like, you know what, the show's over, there's no power, but it was so fun.
That is a way that you build a connection with your fans, is like, you just made them all part of an experience. It's not just a show. Yeah.
Apparently
people throw ping pong balls on stage too.
Oh, I was just gonna say that with that airport song's really interactive.
Yeah.
So in the studio album, you hear ping pong balls at the end. That's a weird fucking song. I love that song, but it's such a strange song.
Yeah.
But they throw you can hear ping pong balls at the end, and so people will bring ping pong balls to the show and throw them on stage at the end of that song.
Very interesting.
It is, and it's like once you go twice, you like know what to expect because they play similar. They have so many albums and so many songs, so they'll play new stuff, but they always play like some of the like those ones that people just like really, really love. So they did a live album also. Actually, I think it might have been during COVID. I can't imagine, maybe not, but it was it made me think of it when you guys were talking about the background, like adding more instruments and stuff like that. They did a live album with the Omaha Symphony.
Oh wow!
And it's dope. It's awesome. You got if you want to listen to it another time, but it is so good. With the symphony and the strings and everything, it's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, like listening.
It's live too. You can like watch it. It's I think it's on their website.
You can be our Guster exclusive guest.
Listen, if you have any questions, I have lots of answers.
You're my window into this world now.
I swear I like other music too, but this is like the band I've seen the most and I still love. Like I can throw that album on or any of them and just be...
I mean, I'm listening to Airport Song now and I can imagine strings on this, like making it super epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool song. I love it.
It's like the only minor key song on the record too.
It's like a weird dark... It just gives you weird, dark feelings.
Yeah.
But like in a good way. Like I'm like, I like this feeling that I feel, but it's weird.
They kind of remind me a little bit of like Band of Horses, where there's this kind of like, this like, not stated, like they're not, I don't think their lyrics are like necessarily sad or depressing or like anything like that, but they're kind of moody, but then also kind of happy sounding at the same time. They have this like interesting kind of melancholic like happiness to them.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
To me, it's probably my favorite part of the album are the lyrics, because listening to this music the first time, you'd have no idea that they're like saying some of the things they're saying. To me, it came off as, there was like a lot more, it was kind of cynical and even some like vengeful songs and like sarcastic kind of things, and I'd have no idea. I thought these were like inspirational, like we can do it songs, but
everything's great, we're white and happy.
It doesn't match sometimes what the lyrics are doesn't match the feeling you're feeling when you hear the song, like if you just take it for what it is without looking those up.
I didn't get to follow along with the lyrics like as much as I wanted to, maybe on like 2 or 3 songs every now and then, but yeah, I didn't pick up on that either. Like, I should go back and listen to it again and follow along with the lyrics.
Yeah, their lyrics are great, too. I mean, obviously, I'm as we've discussed, a super fan. We've dubbed me officially a super fan, so...
Yeah, when are you getting your first Guster tattoo, or your second one? You might already have one.
I don't have one, but it's on my... I have a list of tattoos that I'm getting, and it's on there.
What part of your face is it going on?
It's not going to be the name. Straight across. Forehead.
Just Guster.
It's prime real estate.
In big impact
Guster is
letters.
for lovers. That's one of their like catchphrase things that they have on like shirts and stuff is Guster is for lovers. So I'm just gonna put that right there in front.
It's kind of long. You might have to like arch it.
Oh yeah, we'll get creative. I mean that's up to the tattoo artist to decide.
You're like, I don't really care what it looks like. Just put it on there.
I want the message loud and clear. Guys, I swear I'm not a psychotic, but
no, it's too late for that.
I know. I don't know why I'm pretending.
Yeah, it is far too late in the podcast for
Yeah, sorry.
But I say we go into choice nugs and kind of talk more generally about the music of the album.
It is time for choice nugs. It is time for choice nugs.
Yeah, Erin, what is one of your 2 favorite songs on the record?
Okay, so one of my absolute consistently favorite songs is Come Downstairs and Say Hello, which I know starts off real slow.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not be like the one that people gravitate towards, but it builds and the lyrics they just speak to me, and I watching it live, Brian, who's the drummer, he goes like insane on the certain hand drums, and he like hits the cymbals with his hand. He like plays the cymbals with his hands, and he's just like it's so intense. And it is. it's one of those songs that I hear it, and if I really wanted to, I could just like cry listening to it, because I just like the lyrics just like speak to me. And so
right.
But the music too, like the build, the slow build, it's and live, it's just so great.
Yeah.
So that is a choice nug for me.
I believe this is the longest song on this album, almost reaching it's like 7 minutes. So it is quite a journey of a song.
That's a
and they do let it build.
It
the drums don't really even kick in. They have like some nice.
There's
some really good auxiliary percussion throughout the whole record. But yeah, they have some like those nice auxiliary kind of bongo drums until like almost 3 minutes in, and then the drums come in and it kind of picks up the little like kind of charging beat.
Yeah.
This was the one that first half of the song reminded me the most of Dispatch of any of the other songs.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Something super dispatchy about it. And I love Dispatch.
I do too. Yeah.
One of the good handful of songs that ends like when they're kind of slowing down the last couple notes.
Yeah, exactly.
They love doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they must have cut out a lot of the crowd interaction, because it seems like they're just playing.
Yeah, they must have, because they do a lot of like in between songs, because they're changing instruments and stuff too. So
right,
like almost every song they're switching instruments. It's kind of crazy. So
there's something.
Like
sorry, I was gonna say like there's something really like when you get towards the end of "Come Downstairs and Say Hello." There's something very like 80s, the war on drugs. It's that synth and the chords that they're playing. It's like very Cure-ish. Which is a cool way to finish it, and it's kind of also makes it stand out amongst all their other stuff.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of that there.
There's some. To me, it's they have their upbeat songs and they have their slower songs, but it's just like there's something unique to that song. Maybe because it's 7 minutes long, so they basically put a bunch of different songs into one. But like, it's just there's something. Every part of it has a different vibe, and like, even though the lyrics are really just repeated, kind of over and over, in a sense, there's so many different musicality moments in that song that I think maybe that's why it just like appeals to me so much.
Yeah, and it's kind of to me the lyrics seem like it was, you're kind of shy and you're looking for, someone to support you, and you're maybe trying to get out of your shell a little more is kind of what this song is about. It's very inspirational. Yeah. And it's one thing that struck me odd about this record that this song does. This song has a lot of the auxiliary percussion, like the bongos and all that stuff. And it seemed like most of the songs on this record don't really have those percussion instruments very far forward in the mix, even though one of the main members of the band is playing it.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you see it live, you do not feel that way. Like he's very much like right front and center. Like you can see they highlight him and they, make sure that he's he gets all these solos and things like that. But and I also feel like the studio albums, you can hear it better. I don't know, maybe it's just the live album, or I don't know what it is, but he is very much part of the like when it's live. It makes a lot of sense from like an audio engineer standpoint that the percussion is usually the lowest thing in the mix. Right.
But I would have thought for a band like Guster, where he is one of the main members of the band, they would have amped it up. But yeah, that just struck me odd across the album that he wasn't pulled very far forward.
I think that's part of like, and Erin, you as a more kind of jam band fan might be able to like prove me wrong, but I think that's kind of jam band production. Yeah. Where the drums are just kind of, they're there as an element, but they're not
just
like
keeping you.
They're just keeping the thing
keeping
going.
You jamming.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think again, like the closest comparison I have to Guster is Dispatch for like something that I love, and it's kind of the same thing with Dispatch. Like there's typically a lot of auxiliary percussion in a lot of their songs, especially their acoustic stuff and all that. But it's not anything that necessarily stands out, or there's never going to be a moment where you're like, ooh, that fill,
Right. Yeah.
Or like, oh man, his hi-hat is just a fuck. Like, there's never going to be one of those moments.
Go
ahead, yeah.
Yeah, there just aren't many like monster, outrageous music moments or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they do have these little jammy parts, and they're all kind of working as a collective to get across this, this, I hate repeating the word vibe, but like they're getting across this energy to the audience rather than like kind of jamming more like other jam bands would, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I agree.
Yeah.
And I remember when I brought Andres to see them, I was nervous because I was like, he's a drummer, and I think the drummer of that band is so unique to, to what they do. And I remember like him being really impressed with him because it just is when you see it live, it is very impressive what he's doing. But I do feel like it doesn't translate, I guess, to as much to like something recorded. But
I mean, the experience when you're seeing something in person is so
also
different.
that true.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So you're probably not even getting all the energy, and you're feeling the crowd and like everyone's in it together, that's a much different experience.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, Brett, what was one of your choice nugs, man?
One of my choice nugs, I'm sure you could have guessed it, Lucas, is Red Oyster Cult.
That's a great one.
I could not have guessed that.
It's probably the most energetic song on the album. And I love the horns. This is the first time the horns come in, if I, remember correctly.
Yeah, the horns were a really nice surprise. I liked them a lot.
Yeah, it was just so nice to like, oh, hello. Lucas and I are suckers for,
dude,
that
trumpet,
horn.
Yeah, trumpet, saxophone, and trombone. It's just like, you got me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Actually, Adam, one of the band members, plays the trumpet, I think, on that song.
Man, you hear a band like this and like their background and everything. It's weird that they didn't go to Berkeley.
They're very Berkeley-esque because
right?
They all play like 6 different instruments and not just like all different like genres of instruments and stuff. And it's like, where did you get all that?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, when he whips out the trumpet, you're like, whoa, that is unexpected.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I liked it on Red Oyster Cult too.
Yeah. Great.
Right. And I think the vocals as well are probably some of the most interesting vocals on the record to me. I love like the harmonies they do and the momentum of the track. I also found it was like probably the lyrics that stuck out the most to me on this track. It was like, go home, tell mom you're not going to change the world, and just stuff like that. So that is my first nug on the album. A little trumpet solo at the end.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And I
the
believe
drums actually like did stuff.
I believe this is one of the songs where the main percussionist guy actually gets on the drum set.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does switch back and forth. But typically he's on the whatever they're called.
the
Bongos
other
or
ones, the little bongo
bongos
things.
or something.
Yeah, the
bongo
or something.
things. Yeah. But yeah, he does hop on there.
What was one of your nugs, man?
Man, mine, I like Careful a lot, the opening track.
Oh.
Careful.
I'm actually surprised. I don't know why, but
it had one of my favorite melodies on the
Yeah.
record, like super catchy melody.
yeah.
And it reminded me of like it's just so 90s.
It is very nice, yeah.
Na 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 na. Like
Right.
little moments like that too, like made me think if some of these songs were played just a little faster and distorted, they could sound kind of pop punkish.
Yeah. I think sometimes his voice gives me that.
It sounds like he
that
can do
vibe
a
a
little
little
bit of
bit.
a rougher thing like on Red Oyster Cult and everything. So it's like if
Yeah.
they wanted to do a little more rock and a little louder, I think they could.
Yeah.
And Careful just sounded like what band specifically? It's a pop punk or like a Good Charlotte, like a slow Good Charlotte song is what Careful sounded like to me.
Okay, yeah. I see
And
that.
I just love the da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, careful
Yeah.
when you hurt yourself.
Yeah, Brett, like that one little melody in the For Your Strong song that you love.
Yeah, right.
That's what that little melody on Careful is for me. Careful,
Yep.
don't hurt yourself. Like, that's just so catchy. I'm like,
Those
you got
little
me with that one.
moments.
Yeah.
What it's
Yeah.
all about.
And the na-na-nas, or like
I love it.
Blink-182 is what the na-na-nas sound like.
Yeah.
Na-na-na,
say it.
na-na-na. Like, Mark Hoppus, like, he's going to do that. He's going to steal that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So what's your second choice nug on this album, Erin?
Oh, all right, I have to pick another. Just one? Okay.
Just one.
I'm torn, but I'm gonna say Airport Song, just because.
Kind of sounds like it has to be.
I know. I'm not gonna say what the other one was, so I'm gonna see if one of you guys pick it.
You don't want to.
I bet we will.
I feel like someone has to. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Okay, but Airport Song is just a classic. It's one of the ones they play every time you see them, and it's always it's just a little bit different. Like we kind of talked, it's like
it's kind of dark.
Feels different, a little dark, a little weird.
Yeah.
They say the lyric where he says like, oh my god. Oh, the lyric is like, "I'll be hiding in your dirty room," and then the whole crowd goes, "Dirty, oh so dirty," and that's like that's call and response. Yeah. It's such a weird thing. I don't know. It's just a strange thing to say. I think guess, but
also one of the darkest,
I kind of love it.
Like theme topic songs on this record.
Yeah, I think so. I really feel like it's kind of the two nugs that I chose are kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum in a way. Like the way they make me feel. One's like kind of weird and moody and darker, and one makes me feel like all the feels. So
it's all the feels, not including that feel.
Minus dark, moody
right.
feels. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those songs too. You can tell it's like a fan favorite. Obviously, like the crowd is singing along to every single line.
Oh yeah,
on this live recording. So yeah,
they play the first like two notes, and everyone's like, yes.
"Oh my god,
it's here! Fine. Get out your ping pong balls!
Everyone, shut up! Shut the fuck up! He's singing." That's what I'd be doing.
Same.
Respect the song. Yeah, I mean, good second choice nug. It has to be someone's, and I think it's most people's, if not first choice nug.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, my second one, it kind of jumped around a little bit because I like Amsterdam. A little more rockin'. I like the pace of it. And another one where like their live vocals, I'm just like, God damn, like they're just effortlessly hitting these notes and sounding amazing.
Yep.
Very impressive. But I landed on their cover, man. Their Nothing But Flowers cover. I
really.
It's because I really like the original. And you know, and that could be kind of hit or miss, right? Like if you really like the original and someone does a cover, you're already you're guilty before you're innocent.
Exactly.
There. Like so it was. I went into it a little skeptical, and then I just like how they made it their own.
Yeah.
It's subdued, but it still keeps some of the energy going. I would have liked for him to have like maybe exaggerate his voice just a little bit, like knowing that they're kind of playful and fun, like trying to sound a little bit more like David Byrne would have been cool. But even so, even with that note, like I just like their version of it, man. I love covers, and I have a huge appreciation, especially for covers that you make it your own. Yeah, I hate 1-to-1 covers.
Yeah,
like if I'll listen to the original if you're just gonna do the exact same thing that they did. So like making it into a fucking Guster song is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll say as a person who did not know this was a cover, this is my least favorite song on the record.
Whoa.
Yep. It's just because I think there was a factory, like that line is too repetitive to me, and it's like kind of cheesy in a way that gets a little grating after a while.
Dude, that's that's the one-liner for the Talking Heads. It's kind of cheesy to where it could get grating after a while. Like that's the Talking Heads, but that they grew on me so much, and yeah, their songs are goofy. So it's a goofy song.
Yeah, I didn't know when I first heard that song. I heard it live, and I did not know it was a Talking Heads song. I came to obviously learn that, but I do like it is. When I heard it, not knowing it was a cover, I was like, what is this?
It's weird, right?
The words are like just odd,
so out of their
I get
ballpark.
the point, but like, yeah, it was just very like. But they're also, like you said, they're also very like playful and silly. So I was like, oh, this, I guess it tracks. But like, it was just such a strange. It was unexpected, and then I was like, oh, it's a cover, and it's a good cover, and
it is. And great auxiliary percussion on it when they play it live, and yeah, I liked it, man. It was very unexpected going into this record, like I wouldn't expect to hear a Talking Heads cover.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna my last little nug. I'm not gonna spend too long on it. Was I Spy.
Oh my gosh, love that.
What?
Yep.
Also surprising.
It was.
Yes.
It's my favorite slow song. I like the energy of it. I love the vocals. I don't know why they have to specify that they're at a gay parade, because it doesn't seem like that's relevant to the rest of the song, but maybe it is. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I just really liked how they kind of. This is my favorite slow song.
Yeah.
For whatever reason or another. And with that said, I think maybe we ought to get to the ratings.
Yeah, sure. I mean, about I Spy really quick, though. This is another one that I feel like could be a slow, good Charlotte or Blink-182 song.
You sure about that?
I'm sticking with it, man.
There's some disagreement
about that one.
We've had this discussion before, Brett, where like I have weird music synesthesia, and like I don't know how else to describe it. Where like the most randomest thing will make like I'll think that just sounds so 90s to me, and Brett's like, I don't hear 90s in this at all, and I'm just like, yeah, well I do.
Well, you're wrong.
And I can never describe why, but it's like listening to this and like there are elements that I'm just like, that just sounds like a acoustic Blink-182 song to me. But that's all I got.
I might be on Team Brett on this one, but
yeah,
I get the association.
All the smart people
when you hear something and you're like, there you go.
Well, I'm forever the sickest kid. So.
I'm surprised no one picked Barrel of a Gun, but okay.
Now, I like songs about jacking off as much as the next guy, but it didn't really reach out to me.
Yeah. It turned me on.
I mean, yeah, it was sexy.
It was sexy. It's the sexiest song on the record, but it's not my favorite.
Sure.
Yeah.
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah.
When you think Guster, you think sex. So that's true.
Usually sensual, you think of like, lingerie and mood lighting.
Exactly.
Right.
It's really, yep.
And I think maybe even before we get to our little ratings, maybe we have a little grievances section, because if we don't, I feel like Lucas and my rating of this album won't make any sense.
Okay,
that's
air
true.
Your grievances.
So I think, as having never listened to Guster, this is the first time I've ever heard them.
Interesting.
First time I knew they were a band.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know who they are, but
First time I knew they were a band. What a way to put it.
It's the first time I heard the word Guster.
Yeah.
I personally think that maybe the songs are all kind of samey in a way. That their kind of structure is the same and the mood of them. There are dynamics on the record for sure. But they kind of come few and far between. A lot of I don't want to say it's basic or anything. I don't want to say any of the music is like basic, but
it's straightforward.
yeah,
it's straightforward.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's not like they take a lot of risks. This isn't really a type of band where you take risks or like have little flourishes or anything, but that aspect of it kind of made it hard to focus throughout the entirety of the hour-long record for me.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think it was, I think like Brett, I have a problem like listening to something for an hour anyway, like no matter what it is.
For sure.
And we've complained
for sure.
Unless it's
every
a podcast.
single time an album is like
I was
going
to say, isn't this what
minutes.
you do?
Yeah. This is what we complain about the most.
Seems like a problem.
Is
okay.
like, God damn it, why do they have to make it a 48-minute rap record? Like, I don't want to listen to rap for 48 minutes straight. You
and
know?
you want to you want to listen to it from like beginning to end and how it's intended to be listened to.
Right.
So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and but I kind of like, I agree with Brett on certain points too, but like it's just a genre that I don't gravitate towards. But then when I picked up little things like, oh, this sounds like Dispatch, or oh, that kind of reminds me, like I said, like this kind of sounds like a Blink-182 song, just slowed down, and like listening to it, it had the benefit of me listening to it multiple times, because the first time I was just like, God, it's just too quiet for me. and it just brought me back to college all over again. And then the second time,
I knew I hated this.
Yeah, right. Because when I heard Guster, I was like, "Oh no, I have a history with Guster, and I didn't like Guster." And then
I took a few risks here because I knew you knew about them, and then I was like, live.
Yeah, yeah, but
really seeing how far you could push Lucas.
I really did.
I commend the gall you had to bring this onto the podcast.
Thank you.
Because it did benefit from multiple listens, because then I was able to find the things I liked about it, which was like being impressed by the production, being impressed by the vocals, liking a lot of the melodies that I heard and everything. But it's not something I'm going to gravitate towards or like probably listen to more of Guster's stuff. But it's there was definitely parts that I enjoyed a lot on it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So I think we should do Erin's rating. I think we should.
Oh, I'm
go
supposed
last.
to rate?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Well, we'll go last with
Okay.
your rating, because then we can end it on a really positive, like
Yeah.
God,
you know,
so what
super
you're saying
fan
is
note.
it's about to go.
0 to 10.
0 to 10.
You can
we
use as
allow
many
decimal
digits as
points.
you want.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can go to the 1,000th decimal point if you want. We don't care.
Oh boy.
Well, we upset many people about that, and so we love doing.
Many
it
people
more.
named Michael.
Yeah.
With what, the ratings?
Yeah, we've upset Michael with our rating. I've had a few people send me personal text messages being like, "Dude, it's ridiculous y'all do 10 ratings," and I'm just like, whatever. Like 0 through 10.
It's like, go ahead and start a
Versus
podcast and complain about it.
yeah,
then.
yeah. God damn. Yeah, make
How
your
else
own
would you rate
podcast.
it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like 10 is like the most, I think the most detailed you can get with your rating.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So we know Erin's rating. But
Oh, well,
What is your rating?
I'm gonna
no,
say
it's not
mine.
actually.
Mine legit went from like a 2 something up to like a 5.9
Okay.
because of all the parts that I was able to pull out of it and enjoy. And they're just like there's a lot of talent there for me to not find bits and pieces and moments that I enjoy a lot, you know? And as I guess I didn't feel as much of the same that Brett did. It was just more of like just music I don't normally listen to. So at first it's like I had to kind of break through the little wall that I had of just like, this
Your
is
past.
just not something I listen to. And then after I got past that, I was like, okay, I can, as a musician and just a fan of music and everything, I'm like, there are things to appreciate here. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 5.9. And I think honestly, that's probably a little harsh,
Oh, all right.
which I'm going to save just for myself.
Well, I'm going to be a little harsher.
Let's hear it.
I personally don't mind at all if it's a live album. I haven't listened to too many before. I kind of like you hear the audience kind of chiming in. It makes it a lot more, it gives them like a charisma, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, like to me, a lot of the songs were kind of samey, and there weren't many moments that excited me or like I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know? Even though the songwriting is good, the lyrics are one of the main reasons I was able to turn around on this album, because at first I also had a very low rating on my
I love this. This is so funny.
on my first or so listen.
I anticipated that actually. I was like, this is not something I don't know Brett, but that well. I do now.
Well,
but
that's why we listened to this thing for a week. My initial rating was probably like with Lucas, like around a 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked into the lyrics. It was like, oh, this is interesting. I really like the lyrics. They put a lot of thought into it. There's a lot of interpretations of these lyrics. That's interesting. I wish I heard more percussion on the record, I guess.
Yeah.
And I wish he had more percussive instruments, because it sounded like he had mainly bongos and a cymbal, and that was about it. But I looked at his rig on the live video, and it looked like he had a lot more, but I didn't get to hear it.
Yeah.
Like I think
Is
on
he
the
like
end of
Neil
Airplane,
Peart fucking status, and he's only
I
playing
want
like
him to
3
be
of them?
surrounded.
He has like a symbol behind his head that he never even hits
Yeah.
for some reason.
I loved at the end of Airplane song when they had the little
Yeah.
kind of like moment, and everyone started cheering like.
Is that
Yeah,
the same thing that Cake uses?
Yeah,
their
so
stuff?
it's that
Oh,
cake
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm gonna rate this one a 4.5, which might be a little mad at, but as a person who has
not mad at it,
no past experience, I'm a caveman, so I like active music, especially drumming, and this is definitely a whole different vibe. You're supposed to kind of lay back with some friends, kind of, sing along.
This is coffee shop vibes. And you don't hang out in coffee shops.
Nice.
You do speed and go fucking, rollerblading with your friends.
Yeah, well, joke's on you. I don't have any friends, so
yeah.
All I got is speed.
Consider yourself roasted. So it's a 4.5 from me.
I'll take it. Listen, it's not a 0, so that's a win.
I mean, goddamn, that would be.
Have you ever given like a 0, like a 1?
There have been a couple albums.
Have there been lower than 4.5?
Oh
yes.
Where do I rate on here? Okay,
for sure. And
I consider that.
These are albums that we brought to the podcast that we gave less than a 4. So
there were
okay.
Famous Monsters by Misfits was pretty low for me. Like this album by Sheer Mag, I think might have gotten into like the 2s.
Yeah, I think it got in the 2s. I think New Villager was down in the 2s or 1s even.
Ooh, okay.
And that was one that I was excited as hell to fucking bring to the podcast, and then I hated it.
You're like, oopsie.
It's what I heard
this
before.
Is definitely not the lowest rated album.
No, not at all.
Awesome. I'll take it.
What is your rating for this thing?
I
gotta end it on a high note.
Not
man.
a 10. It's not a 10 because I feel like I can't give anything a 10.
I know. Doesn't that feel
weird?
Lucas
have the same problem.
It just feels
Yeah.
too absolute. I can't. It doesn't feel right. But I will give it. Yeah, it's just too. I would give it like. I don't know, like high 8s maybe, or maybe a 9, low 9s. Like, do I have to give a number? Okay.
Just throw a number out there.
9.1.
9.1. Okay.
Does that suffice?
That is
That's good.
Completely sufficient.
But I also come with a background of just I do really think it does come from a place of nostalgia, which is why I was a little bit like unsure. I was like, do I just love this because I just love I've seen them so many times and everything, but I still went for it, and I'm glad I did.
That's so valid, though.
Right?
Completely.
It's so valid. Like, yeah, we've talked about records like by Korn and Limp Bizkit on here that I'm giving them hard 8s, if not 9s, on those records, and objectively doesn't deserve it, or
Correct.
And that's we're talking about Limp Bizkit versus Guster, like that's totally different too. But it's like you listen to Issues by Korn, it does not deserve an 8 point something, like objectively probably. But
yes.
Oh man, nostalgia is just all over that record,
It's real.
Like with Brett with Meteora by Linkin Park, man.
Mm-hmm. I gave that one like a 9.9 or something.
Right.
and I know not a lot of people are giving it that rating.
Can't fight the feels, man.
But yeah,
exactly.
Every single time I'd rather have someone come on here with an extreme personal bias rather than like talk objectively about an album the whole time without any feelings or heart in it. I much prefer someone who has a connection and can tell us about their feelings and what they've it's more interesting that way to me.
Yeah, I don't know that I could ever be fully objective about any music, really.
Right, especially
if it's something hard. You guys have a hard job.
I think it makes it a lot easier.
Someone's got to do it, though.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier when it's like something that we haven't really heard before. It's just like, hey, we heard this record was really good. Let's check it out. Yeah. And especially because a lot of the stuff that we have talked about on the pod, it's like either I love it and Brett has never heard it, or vice versa. Like 90% of the time. Yeah. So like, there's always going to be an objective opinion in there, and it's like. I like having to defend my subjective feelings towards an album and just be like, I understand it sounds like shit, and I'm going to tell you why that's good. So yeah, so it's so fucking valid, and that's like the best part about music is that like there is no right or wrong, like it's all gray area. Yeah. That's why you can't say something sucked, because like someone likes that.
Yeah.
So
right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. All right, well, 9.1. I'm glad we ended on a high note there, because it was starting to feel starting to get grim.
Is it bad that I don't feel bad about the ratings that you gave?
No,
yeah,
that's
okay. Five.
That's great.
4's okay. Awesome. Maybe it's just me. I'm just
no. That's just you recognizing that we are not nearly as equipped to be on this podcast as people would think we are.
Yeah.
You know, I disagree.
It's like a falcon looking at ants. You know, just kind of like, oh, you could say whatever you want. I'm above it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. When are you going to stop us in the comments after we post this? You're going to be like, these fucking idiots.
Tear you apart.
3 different, like, anonymous accounts.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these guys.
These guys would have no good music if fucking Belle and Sebastian played their birthday.
Belle and Sebastian. Oh, man.
Well, Erin, thank you for being on the pod with us.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
It was super fun
having you on. Awesome. I loved it. Anytime.
Hey, you tell us, man.
I'll shoot you a jam band. You better be I swear I like other music.
Throw in some Widespread Panic. Make us listen to something like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, guys.
No, we loved having you on. That was super fun. And thanks for listening, buddies. What do you guys think of this record? Do you guys like Guster? Do you guys, what is it, what's the Guster superfan called? Do they have a name?
Me? I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
they probably do.
I'm amazed if they don't.
I'm sure they do.
Are you part of the Gus army? Like, tell us what you think.
Can't say Gus. It's a different band.
Fuck, you're right.
There's a whole backstory.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole backstory.
How many ping pong balls have you brought to a Guster show?
Mm-hmm.
You know, tell us how loud you're singing the parts over the singer. All that good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, and tell us what you would rate this record, man. Tell us on our Instagram at EBPcast or on YouTube at Earbuds Podcast or on whatever else you can find us on. You can find me at Jean-Luc Guitard. You can find Brett at Brett Hanrahan. Erin, do you have anything that you wanted to promote or have anyone...
Absolutely not.
Do you have any upcoming projects?
Nope, sure don't.
All right.
You're right.
All right.
Nope,
Me neither.
Like, I mean, got a new hairline coming out. You have some beauty products? Or...
Yeah, for real. Like, if you and Andy went on Shark Tank with a line of hair beauty products, like, they'd be like,
listen,
no question.
He keeps stealing my stuff. This is something I need to navigate, this new dating someone with who also has really long hair, because he's stealing my products. He takes longer in the bathroom than I do. It's just...
It's been a big point of contention having a second person with fantastic hair.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, we hope y'all get through it.
Thank you. I appreciate
the support.
The best.
Yeah,
I'll
wishing
keep you
for the
posted
best
on how it goes.
And it'd be really fun to have y'all
off.
both on together on an episode.
That would be an experience.
Super
that would be
fun.
something. All right.
Let's get that going, man.
Make it happen. It's your show.
Yeah, y'all just do what we say.
You're asking for it. No, yep, we'll be here.
All right.
But yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. That'd be
all right, guys.
Awesome. Well, Brett.
Thank you.
Do you know what we're listening to on the next episode? Because I do.
We're listening to Butterfly 3001, the remix record of Butterfly 3000. It is 2 hours long.
It is 2 hours long.
Guys.
There's like 3 or 4 versions of each song remixed by different people. So we were going to do a shorty episode of this, and there's no way we can
simply not possible.
So this will be the next episode. So listen to Butterfly 3001, buddies, and get ready for that. And Brett, what would you rate this episode?
I'm rating this episode a 9.1.
I was going to give it a 9.1 also.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is a solid 9.1 of an ep.
Yeah.
And I think this was good.
You know what? This was good.
And we're going to stop recording in 3, 2, 1, go.
Do I have to? Oh, no. Okay. God, I'm so scared. Press the stop. Press the black square.